This is Muhammad حمودة speaking. Today we are going to talk about translation of technical terms or technical translation. But before that, last lecture we have talked about the different types of metaphor, and we said that metaphor includes all of the figurative languages in this context, or in our book we said that metaphor includes all the figures of speech. Also, we have identified several types of metaphors, such as dead metaphor, glitch metaphor, and we consider these two types as one type because they are similar a lot, and they share a lot of things in common. Both of them are, or both of these two types are usually are used in ordinary speech, in ordinary life, in everyday speech, to the degree that people are no longer feel that they are metaphors, or their metaphorical value is lost. The third type is standard metaphor. This metaphor is used in formal speech only. في الفورمال speech، في الكلام الرسمي فقط، such as some throw lights on, keep the pot boiling, and so on. The third type is quoted metaphor, and we said that quoted metaphor is taken from other sources such as Holy Quran, literature, poetry, or from other cultures or from other languages. I mean, the fifth type of metaphor is cultural metaphor. This metaphor or this type of metaphor includes a cultural reference. Also, recent metaphor, it is a newly coined metaphor in both languages, in the source language and in the target language. And the last type is original metaphor, and we said that this metaphor is a newly coined, but uh, it is astonishing, it is surprising, and so on. When you feel that this sentence is surprising and this is the first time you hear it, it is original metaphor. Okay, now we are going to let us move and talk about a translation of technical terms or technical translation. First of all, we have several strategies of Arabization, or the first technical terms, I mean, to start with technical terms. Technical terms or technical translation is the translation of technical terms only, scientific and technical terms. Okay, as you know, Arabic is the language of Holy Quran, and it is protected uh, and preserved. Okay, as we read from the Holy Quran, إنا نزلنا الذكر وإنا إليه لحافظون. وبالتالي اللغة العربية هي لغة everlasting, and it is protected from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so this language or Arabic language is flexible to cover new items, to translate or to produce new items, or to produce names, uh, or to give names for new established lexemes and new invented materials, or new discovered materials, new invented machines, and so on. Okay, the first strategy now, let us talk about methods of Arabization. The first method is transcription. Transcription in Arabic means رسم لفظي أو نسخ لفظي. transcription or نسخ لفظي. It is the literal spelling of English terms in Arabic letters as it is exactly pronounced. How? First, we hear the transcription. When we hear the English pronunciation, and we use the Arabic alphabets to write this pronunciation exactly with no any changes. We don't make any changes as we hear the English pronunciation. We write this pronunciation using Arabic alphabets as it is. Okay, this is what is meant by transcription. For example, bank. In Arabic, we write it bank as it is. Identical. We write the identical pronunciation of English using Arabic alphabets. Computer. Computer, we write it computer as it is. Television, television, radio, cassette as you see, as we write it, as we pronounce it without any changes. Okay, internet as you see. All of these examples are examples of transcription or الرسم اللفظي or النسخ الصوتي. transcription نسخ صوتي، ويعني احنا بننسخ الصوت. اوكي، بنكتب اللفظ الانجليزي للكلمة باستخدام الحروف العربية أو حروف اللغة العربية. This is what is meant by transcription. Okay. Actually, uh, most of the Arabic monolingual dictionaries define Arabization as a transcription method or as a transcription technique, but in reality, it is not a transcription technique. It is westernization technique. هي عبارة عن تغريب لللفظ or foreignization، عبارة عن أجنبة لللفظ. Why westernization or foreignization? Actually, because we bring some foreign elements into Arabic language. يعني أنا now نجي لبنك. أول حاجة هذا عبارة عن كلمة مش موجودة في اللغة العربية. إحنا bring these or bring this foreign element, which is bank, into the Arabic dictionary or into the Arabic lexeme. So it is better to refer to transcription as a foreignization technique or westernization technique, not Arabization technique. I hope this point to be clear. Okay. Okay. Actually, it is very important. It is a vital problem when we use Arabization or when we use transcription and we transcribe some words into Arabic, and these words are originally have equivalent items into Arabic or equivalent lexemes into Arabic. Thus, the transcribed term is replacing the original Arabic equivalence. And this is very, very important problem that we should avoid, such as bank. We have an Arabic equivalence which is masrif. When we transcribe it as bank into Arabic, this this bank or this term replaces al-masrif into Arabic. So replaces al-masrif in Arabic, and this is a vital problem. Computer the same. We have al-hasib al-ali or al-hasub. This term or computer as a transcribed term replaces الحاسب الآلي, which is an Arabic equivalent term of computer. Okay, radio is the same. All of these examples are the same: telephone, cassette, video, film, cinema, satellite, قمر صناعي, فيروس اللي هي جرثومة معدية, بكتيريا, جراثيم, فاكس, ناسوخ, أمينيا, فقر دم, إنترنت, شبكة معلومات. All of these terms have equivalent terms into Arabic. It is preferable and it is recommended to use the Arabic equivalent terms in a translation, not transcribe the English ones. So it is recommended to avoid a transcription technique in translation as much as we can. Okay, and we have two main reasons for using Arabization, or I mean overuse of Arabization. الاستخدام المفرط للأرابيزيشن في الترجمة because of two main reasons. The first one, the translators' laziness. They don't want to exert a lot of efforts in researching and looking for equivalent terms for the English lexemes. The second reason is that it is the easiest technique. على طول مباشرة بكتب اللفظ وبمشي، بكتب اللفظ وبمشي الكلام، أو بعمل الترجمة بمشي الترجمة. And this is, so it is the easiest technique, it is the fastest technique, and also it reflects the laziness of the translators. Okay, as group, for example, group, we write it as, or we transcribe it as group or group, but actually we have an equivalent item in Arabic, which is al-majmu'a. It is better to follow the Arabic lexemes or and use the Arabic equivalents or equivalent terms rather than using transcribed terms. Okay. Um, Now, the solution for Arabization is to avoid this technique. Transcription is should be avoided as much as we can. The second strategy is naturalization. Okay, naturalization, التطبيع. المقصود في التطبيع adopting the English lexeme to the Arabic pronunciation and the grammar and alphabets, but we make some modifications. يعني نستخدم لفظ اللغة الكلمة الإنجليزية وبنكتبها في اللغة العربية كما هي، ولكن بنعمل بعض التغييرات الشكلية فقط لنخلي الكلمة آه، موافقة لقواعد اللغة العربية ولحروف اللغة العربية. So it is adaptation of the English term to to Arabic pronunciation, alphabets and grammar, but we make some sort of modifications to make the word, or to make the lexeme more acceptable in Arabic language. For example, technology, technologia, technological, technology. As you see, we add أو تكنولوجيا. technologists, تكنولوجيون أو تكنولوجيات. تكنولوجيين يعني أشخاص، تكنولوجيات سيدات. technologies، تكنولوجيات، technologically، تكنولوجيا. The same with magnet. Oxide, also the same: oxidate, oxidize, oxidation, oxidization, etc. Oxida, oxidant, oxidizer, muoxid, and so on. The same is with biology, biologia, biological, biology or biologia, biologist, biology أو بيولوجية, biologists, بيولوجيون أو بيولوجيات, biologically, بيولوجيا, and so on as mechanism, mechanics and topography, topographia. But actually, in this topography, we made some modifications, which is adding ta sound and الغين sound. These two sounds are not existed in English, but we use them and we replace the English T sound into ta, because Arabic accepts ta language, or ta and ghain are existed in Arabic language, and so on. Okay, the third technique is translation. Translation is the transmission of English technical terms into Arabic using words that are already a part of Arabic language vocabulary. Thus, we use certain words, we translate. I mean, translation here means literal translation, the replacement of vocabulary or the source language vocabulary into their equivalent items in the Arabic language, and it is to some extent is more acceptable than the naturalization and transcription, by the way. Why? Because we use some lexemes which are widely used in Arabic and existed in Arabic dictionary or in Arabic dictionaries, such as vibrations, ذبذبات, geometry, هندسة, geology, علم الأرض, blood group, زمرة الدم or blood pressure, ضغط الدم, and capacity, سعة, refrigeration, and so on. So now the fourth technique is coinage, النقش or السك. السك يعني producing a new material. صح ولا لا؟ يعني احنا بننتج مادة جديدة، هي المقصود بالسك. وبالتالي coinage it means the introduction or introducing a new term which is not existed and is not used in Arabic language before. Okay, so coining, inventing a new term which is not used in ordinary Arabic language or in ordinary speech. Okay, we have several ways of coinage. The first way is revival, al-ihya. Al-ihya means we have something which is dead or something is old, we reuse it. Okay, so the revival means reusing the old terms which are no longer used currently. Okay, such as train, القطار. طيب هانك train في الماضي كنا نستخدمها as a line of camels، يعني قطار من الجمال أو قطار من الجمال، مقصود فيه خط أو قطيع أو طابور من الجمال، جمال ورا بعض، هذا بنسميه قطار. Okay, so we can use it to refer to the train, القطار. So we can revival some terms or some old terms which are no longer existed in Arabic language, and and we reuse them and revive them and we rebirth them. Okay, and also a newspaper means a small palm stick used to write on. يعني احنا عبارة عن قطع من النخيل الصغيرة، احنا قطع صغيرة من النخيل كنا نستخدمها في الماضي للكتابة. So thus we can replace or we can revive this term الجريدة to render a newspaper. Okay. Car is the same, means long distance desert travelers, and we can use it. Telephone is the same, means a person whose voice is heard but he is not seen. So تليفون الهاتف. الهاتف in Arabic means يعني في الماضي كانوا يستخدموا كلمة هاتف لشخص صوته مسموع ولكن لا نراه أو يعني غير مرئي، وبالتالي we can render telephone into هاتف because when we talk using telephone we listen to uh, to others but we don't see them, so the same use we can use هاتف to refer to the telephone. Okay. The second or the third strategy or the third technique of coinage is derivation. Derivation, الاشتقاق. Arabic is the language of derivation. Arabic اللغة العربية هي لغة الاشتقاق. بقدر من كلمة كتب بقدر أشتق مكتبة، مكتوب، كاتب، and so on. يعني بقدر أشتق اسم الآلة واسم الفاعل واسم المفعول وأشياء تانية كتير في الاشتقاق. فاللغة العربية هي لغة الاشتقاق. It is the language of derivation and we can use them such as factory مصنع، لانسر، أو slaughter house مذبح أو مسلخ and so on. We can use مفعلة such as بطشري، مجزرة، مفعلة، مجزرة أو ملحمة and so في فعالة، washing machine غسالة and so on. We have مفعال and so on. Okay. Now neologisms. Neologisms المستحدثات. المستحدثات new words, ideas, expressions which are not known in Arabic classic or in classical Arabic. So the difference between neologism and the new coinage, both of them is the invention of new terms into the language, but the difference between them that neologisms are not used in the past, but coinage, these terms are used in the past and people are no, but they are no longer used in the present. So we reuse them in the present, such as here philosophy علم وظائف الأعضاء. This expression is not used in the past and it is a new term, so it is a neologism. Okay. Computer or computer programming برمجة الحاسوب, it is not used in the past and it is a new term. Hardware and so calculator and so on, all of these are examples of neologisms. Okay. Actually, uh, as you see, conclusion, we have two main things that Arabization as ethic of foreign technical terms is vital. We can't avoid this technique because it is uh, uh, maybe in some extent or in rendering some lexemes, maybe Arabization is the only technique that we have, so we can use it, but it is recommended to avoid transcription and naturalization as much as we can. Okay. Also, some technical terms have two or more recognized versions in Arabic such as computer. عندنا كمبيوتر وعندنا حاسوب. الأفضل إني أستخدم الحاسوب أترجمها كحاسوب because it is an Arabic equivalence, while computer is a transcribed term. AIDS نقص المناعة أو الإيدز and so on. البنك نفس الحاجة، بنك ومصرف، الأفضل أن أستخدم المصرف، فدائما الأفضل أستخدم ال Arabic equivalent items. Okay, and actually as you see, this is the end. Naturalization is closer to Arabization than transcription. Okay, so it is very important point that is naturalization is closer to Arabization, and we said that transcription should be a technique of westernization or foreignization, not Arabization, because it involves the process of bringing some foreign elements into the Arabic lexemes, and we adopting the pronunciation of English without any modification. While naturalization, we make some sort of modifications to make the word more suitable and more acceptable in the Arabic language. Okay, some six some technical terms have been Arabized into more than one term. Yeah, computer حاسوب, حاسب آلي, عقل آلي, حاسب إلكتروني, and so on. gap, فجوة, ثغرة, فتحة, فسحة, and so on. Okay. Uh, yeah, we have some we have British English and American English, petrol, gasoline. This is not important. Okay, this is the end of this lecture. I hope you get a lot of benefits. Next lecture, we are going to talk about translation of proper names, titles, geographical terms, and political institutional terms. Actually, this is the last. The next lecture will be the last lecture in the second chapter, and we have the third chapter, three or two lectures. We have two lectures in the third chapter, then we finish up the course. Actually, I hope that you get a lot of benefits in your course. If you have any question in the semantic level or semantic difficulties or even in syntactic difficulties, I will be so happy to discuss to discuss it with you. Thank you very much. Stop sharing and end.